just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the DMP, and don't forget, bloke jerseys are now available. We've sold out of 2 sizes, nearly the third size. There's like 2 other sizes that have like single numbers left. If you want the bloke jersey, make sure to head to bloke.shop, grab your bloke jersey. If you want it for 110, just buy it like that. If you want it for 99, join the bloke club, and you've got to be logged into your bloke club. Then purchase the jersey. It'll automatically apply the discount. If you had any problems, make sure to email Maddie. And as always, the deal was if they all sell, and I ordered heaps this year so everyone could get one, but if they all sell by Saturday, I'll keep the goatee for Magic Round. And maybe, actually, you know what? I'll keep it for a whole month. If they all sell by Saturday, I'll keep it for a whole month. Because we ordered heaps this year so everyone could get some. So that's the deal, guys. You got till Saturday to try and get it done. I'm doing my part. I got to keep this itchy shit on my face. So go to bloke.shop, grab your bloke jerseys, and I've got the great Eddy with me. Tom, weak as piss, not here. Where is the bloke?
Mate, he's on the Gold Coast.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Holiday.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
And I'm here just trucking seed, mate. As I always do.
Yeah, you always do.
As I always do.
Could we class Tom as a part-time employee now? Like, because you are the accountant of Hello Sport.
Yeah.
He's technically a part-time employee because he doesn't actually work full-time anymore.
Well, because he only works a couple of days a week.
Yeah. So that's part-time, technically.
Yeah, technically it's part-time.
So you could you could clip his wage about 50% if
Mate,
you
or I
want to.
might start clipping him equity. I don't know. I don't know.
Mate, you know what you say to him, mate? Every day you're not here, you lose 10%. 5%.
10%. Yeah, fuck, he'd have nothing left. Nothing left by the next week.
Mate, he'd start turning up then, wouldn't he, mate? He'd start bloody turning up then, wouldn't he, mate?
Start fucking turning up then, mate, buddy,
Fucking unbelievable.
Pulling his weight, mate. If he was on a job site, he would have been jabbed.
Mate, he'd been fucking gone, mate.
Put it that way.
Mate, back in my day when I was on the fucking site, fucking stand out the front, fucking bash him, then send him home.
Go, come here, mate. Fucking boost. Get that up, yeah.
Now, look, we've squeezed this in, and like I know you've got some serious stuff that you've got to do tomorrow that we couldn't do.
Yep.
But I've actually got more serious stuff that I'm not getting to tonight. And it's a shadow drop of Elder Scrolls Oblivion has dropped. And it dropped today. And I've been working all day long.
And so, you wanted to go home and play it?
Yeah, I wanted to go home and play it, but I can't because I'm here.
Yeah.
So just letting you know that.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate the shadow drop of Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Is
the remake.
The remake?
It's a remake of Oblivion, and no one knew it was coming. Well, there was some leaks. The real neckbeards
Did you know it was coming?
I knew there was some leaks. I didn't know if it was real or not because they were leaks.
Where do you get your leaks from?
Mate, I can't give me sources, mate.
No, well...
I can't give me sources, mate. But all I know is that I've been watching... In any little break that I get me a little phone out, I look at all the people reviewing Oblivion, and I go, fuck, I could be at home right now.
And are people liking it?
They're loving it. It's a hit. It's a hit. But I'm not there. I'm not there to put my review for it.
So what do you have to do? Do you have to collect the Elder Scrolls?
No, I think the Elder Scrolls, is like, I don't actually know where the name Elder Scrolls come from.
Is an Elder Scroll, Denon, a scroll written by elders, added to by elders, and passed down through the generations?
I think it's more a scroll that is old.
Right.
So it's
as opposed to it being the
written by elders. So
that's
could it be
added to by elders. You know what I'm trying to say? Like the book in American Pie that's hidden in the library that people have been adding to.
See, I think it's the age of the scroll rather than the age of the authors that is applicable here. So it could have been a young man or woman that wrote on the scroll initially, but then it passed along for generations to generation to generation that made it the Elder Scrolls.
The Elder Scrolls are artifacts of unknown origin and quantity, being simultaneously archives of historic past and future events.
Historic past and future. So really, really willy-nilly there. You can go whichever way you want.
That's super vague.
Yeah, which is good. That's what you want
in
fantasy.
So let me ask you something, Denon. Yep. If it's attributed to the age of the scroll...
Yeah.
Why weren't they the Dead Sea Elder Scrolls? I'm talking about the scrolls found in the caves around the Dead Sea.
Yeah, around the Dead Sea, okay.
That had religious sort of connotations.
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down there. So if there was the term used for scrolls that are old was elder, why aren't there more scrolls called Elder Scrolls?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
That's exactly what you said. So what you've done is you've picked up what I've put down.
I've picked it up.
Yep. And you've run with it. And I don't have an answer. I don't know if you've got an answer.
I don't have an answer
You
either.
might have an answer tonight, though. When you go home, you play Oblivion Elder Scrolls.
Mate, being a good father, I don't have time, mate. I'm going to get straight home, straight into daddy duties.
When do you foresee yourself sitting down and firing up the rig?
Well,
what time?
Well, tomorrow, I usually have a full day tomorrow. I don't have a full day tomorrow. So it may have worked in my favour that I've got a bit of time tomorrow to have a bit of fun. I don't usually get days off.
Yep.
And I've gotten brushed from the DMP, so that's not being... You're listening to this on Thursday, but it was recorded on Wednesday night. And I also got brushed from the run home with Fletch and Sugar.
Have they dropped you?
They brushed me. Said, don't need you this Thursday, mate.
What, Sugar?
Well, they asked me. They said, mate, can you? I said, yeah, should be sweet. I'll confirm tomorrow. And then they sent me another message. Oh, sorry, mate. Fletch is going to be there tomorrow, so we don't need you. So I've actually got brushed from a whole day of work there, mate. So
but again, it means you can fire up the rig.
Yeah, I can fire the rig up, mate. I can fire. And also, I think that Wednesday, Thursday is daycare day, so the little one will be in daycare. That's always a win.
Perfect.
That's a win.
You don't think it, you know it.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday, Thursday. Because I get frustrated. I'm like, when you get home and the missus is like, all right, you'll take the turn to take care of him. And you're like, oh, didn't I pay for daycare? I'm joking.
He's joking.
A little, kind of, like a little.
Well, sort of.
Yeah,
not really. Why don't you just extend the hours? Just have them there till fucking... Can you get like super late daycare, like 10 p.m?
Okay, I'm always of the mind, take your hours where you get them. So if we're both home and like, let's say I've got an early day and I get home at like 2 or 3 and the wife's like, oh, let's go pick up Rain. And it's like, let's say it's like 3:34. I'm like, but we can pick him up at 5:30. Let's get the hours in while we can.
Yes.
And so initially she's like, no, I don't want to be one of those parents that like leave the kid there till late. And I'm like, I don't give a shit what people think.
Yeah.
Like, we need time. Anyway, so that's what it was at the start. Now she's starting to lean more into me going, listen, let's take the hours while we can.
Yep.
We don't pay for any more if he stays till 5:30 compared to 3:30. And we both get a bit more downtime to, take care of ourselves.
Bathe in the hours. Because you've got to look after yourself, Dan, before you can look after others.
Absolutely.
Fit your own mask first.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, when people used to say that, look after yourself first with the kids, like, and don't get me wrong, people take the piss with that, but they're like, good to look after myself. And it's like they never see their kids. But it actually is true, because if you treat taking care of your child like a session almost. You're like, okay, well, I got the child today, so it's like a 12-hour session. If you go into that 12-hour session not relaxed and already stressed out, by the 6th hour, when you're chasing the kid around and it's throwing shit around, it won't eat its food, and you've made this nice food for it and it's sitting there and doing all this crazy stuff, you start to get frustrated, and you can't do that to the little one. He's just a little one.
Yeah.
And so if you go in there with a refreshed mind, you've got more, you're less anxious, you're less stressed, and you can be more in the moment with the little one.
Exactly. So you got to go and refresh and relax.
With Oblivion.
That's right. And treating yourself in the shower. You know what I mean? Going really relaxed.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
How is the rig? Because I know you did it up recently.
No, it's a powerful rig.
But are you happy with the rig?
Oh, yeah, I'm happy.
Or are you a little bit,
Mate, I haven't had that much time. Because like Monday, I'm recording all day. And then when we get home, we're posting stuff all night. And then Tuesday, I'll have a player interview. And then Tuesday, Arvo, we usually have some time spare there. Wednesday, I've got NRL Sportsbet preview show from 8:30 till about 11. And then I got the radio from about 11:30 till 3. And then obviously you drive home. That takes about an hour and a half. We're here tonight. Then on Thursday, we'll have the DMP from, let's just say 9:30 till, 12 or something. That's about the time. And then I'll chill for a bit. And then from 3 till 6, I'll have the radio show. And then I'll go home after that. I'll watch the footy straight away. Then the next morning from 8 till about 12, I'll have the radio show with Maddie on Friday. And then I'll have Packer Up Boys from about 1 till about 3. Then I get home for a few hours. And then on the weekend, I have to watch every game.
So you basically don't have any time to make love to your rig?
Well, not real, sit back and just indulge. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not thinking about anything and you're just indulging.
Yep.
Not that much. But in saying that, I still would rather. My job always is to bathe the little one and then put him to sleep, which I really enjoy.
Okay.
So that's a few hours of good time each night.
There you go. Now you know what Denon does every day.
You know my diary. If you read him a few books.
So if you want to kill him, you know where he is exactly.
Literally, exactly. Like if you disagree with one of my opinions, come find me.
Yeah, well, there's
but I'll
plenty
tell
of
you
people-
what, I'm not going down easy. That's for sure, mate.
Are you not going down easy?
No, mate.
No, you get the underhooks in?
Oh, more than that, mate. That's what you know about, mate. Yeah, that's almost like a red herring. It's almost like when the CIA releases like, oh, we've got these like stealth bombers, but really they got like infrared laser beams that can go across the real. It's just all about a red herring, mate.
I tell you what came and went. All those UFO sightings in New Jersey came and went,
mate.
What?
You know, it's
Do
the
you know
world.
what I mean? If you went back through, if you went back through all the crazy shit that happens that you've forgotten about, I reckon you'd be shocked.
The world has become so messed up that we can get UFOs and just go, yeah, keep scrolling. That's how messed up it is.
Every night in the sky, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sightings, and no one knows what they were. And maybe they do know what they were, and we weren't told. But I'm just saying to you, I feel like that was strange. That it's just that's gone now.
It's crazy that they literally the people in power have literally said we don't know what they are. So the thing is, there's a story there. One is either they're lying,
Yes,
or two is they actually don't know what they are. So the story's still big.
and if they do know and they're lying, why?
You know why? It's because we've got all Netflix and shit now. We're just like, everyone's just like, you know what? Yeah, all right.
Mobland's out.
Yeah,
on Paramount.
world's about to end. Who gives a shit? I got Netflix. Like, that's really what it is. We're so distracted by content at the pig trough of content that we just keep consuming.
There's irony there as well because the reason the sheeple have got their eyes closed is because of you and I, you know.
Yeah.
Like they get home, they kick off the shoes and they listen to Hello Sport, they listen to they listen to the DMP.
They, you know, we do distract them from their day. I would say that we're not necessarily algorithmically designed because they do have to come and find us.
That's a good point.
You know, so
we don't pop up that much.
Exactly. So you can follow us on Instagram, but the podcast that you're listening to, you've come to us.
Yes.
We haven't come. We were not inside your algorithm. So I feel like,
and also we point these things out,
and we're keeping you open.
Yeah.
The great distraction, though, they call it the great distraction, that people are just getting lulled into a sense of like a numb coma of content. They call it. Well, I just made that up then. I don't know why I said that. A coma of content. I mean, that's actually a pretty good name.
Content coma.
The content coma. We're all in it to a degree.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Can you imagine if content disappeared tomorrow, how much more onto it we'd be? Because we'd be like, well, we've got to start talking to each other. And they'd be like, well, this is bullshit. Let's go talk to our pollies. I call them pollies, politicians.
You big poly guy, yeah?
Well, if I didn't have any content, I would be. What else are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. You'd be going down to see your local member.
You'd be like, mate, why the fuck's the path not done, mate?
You'd be going down to see your local member, shake their hand and go, listen here.
Listen here, mate.
Let's talk about footpaths.
Let's talk about footpaths. Let's talk about suburban areas. Let's talk about picket fences, local footy clubs. Let's talk about all that stuff.
Let's talk about urban forests.
Yep. Let's talk about the fact that we've got rude kids in the neighbourhood that are flipping us off. Need to talk about that.
Yep.
Don't want that. I had a kid flip me off the other day. Couldn't believe it. It would have been like 15, I reckon, riding his bike. I think he was a bloke in a bar fan. I think he was a Sharkies fan because he gave me the finger and then he went like... I felt like saying... And I'll be honest. I was like, man, when I was growing up, I'd be way too scared to just flip an adult off.
Yeah.
Did
that make you check yourself when you realised that he was a fan?
Well, he wasn't a fan. He gave me the finger.
But
so he might have seen me on socials. Nah, not really. See, he would have seen me on socials and be like, I'm going to give it to this bloke. But I was like, mate, I'm not afraid to hit a child.
Like you might. You don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, bro.
I think he got me wrong. I'll punch on with a 16-year-old.
Yeah. Well, 15.
Mate, 14 even.
Listen, if you're asking for it, you'll get it. That's the
you
Denon way.
Hey, you want to act like a man? I'll treat you like a man, mate.
I can stick him up, bro.
But anyway, that's not really true, guys. I wouldn't hit children. As I said earlier.
You said you would, man.
Oh, totally, bro. Don't forget, guys, join the Bloke Club. You automatically go in the draw to win a Mazda BT50. That is all thanks to Luke Camilleri. He was on the show the other week. Absolute legend, Dragon supporter. Give him a follow on LDC_01 because he actually gives away, he has car giveaways all the time. He's the best in the business. If you do need a car, trust me, give him a message. Even if it's not from him, he'll point you in the right direction. He's an absolute legend. He's got a real passion for cars and helping people get the right one. I got my car from him. My wife, I've also got that for her as well from him. So he's an absolute legend. LDC_01. Join the Bloke Club. Take you 2 seconds. No strings attached. And you get discounts on the Bloke jersey, 20% off Grumpy Coffee, 15% off Bloke merch. Plus, we've got a new batch of discounts coming very soon. So stay tuned. Can't wait for that. And don't forget, like and subscribe and comment on YouTube and Spotify. We'll be sure to make sure to answer your comments. Mate, how's the daylights going, mate?
Daylights is going well, mate. We're keeping the punter and the dribbler hydrated, which I'm proud of because, again, 8 out of 10 Australians aren't hydrated, particularly coming out of a long weekend or going into a long weekend.
Yeah.
Like we've just gone into one
Back to
and
back.
we've come back out of one and now we're going back into one. And I can guarantee unequivocally that this is when people are the most fucking dehydrated you can get.
Yeah, yeah. And also you need your multivitamins because there's shit going around.
There's just a lot going on.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a shitload going on. You might hear I'm a little bit nasally. I'm not full blown Real McCoy sick because of Good Day.
You'd be nearly dead.
That's a fact.
You'd be nearly dead right
Well,
now.
I'd be at home. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be doing this.
That's true. That's a fair call.
And I wouldn't be here with as much gusto as I've got. So 10% off at begoodhealth.com.au using the code DMP for either Good Day or Daylights, but you can use it with a subscription for Good Day for an extra 10% off. So that's 20% off. Are you following? Good. Well done. No subscriptions yet for Daylights. That's coming soon.
Now, Toff Sipley, suspended for 4 weeks. So essentially the argument was that, I think from Sipley's side, and I'm just condensing it, basically him saying he felt that he lost consciousness, he looked dazed, and that's why he wrapped around and fell on the back of the leg. The NRL claimed that there's no medical evidence that he was concussed or, that had any effect on the thingo. I don't know. There's a bit of a weird one for me because, the whole point of concussion is we don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
So, how you can say you're sure that he wasn't concussed when I think we all looked at it and said that bloke looks like he's dazed at the very least.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand that argument. And I know they're trying to lean on the fact that he passed a HIA. Mate, you are kidding yourself. If you think footy clubs,
don't train for him.
They aren't trained for them. They're also, to suggest that a bloke's concussed but still doesn't try to pass a HIA, you get brain trauma just from heading soccer balls. The thing that to suggest a bloke can get concussed, but then he passes his HIA, therefore he never was concussed. He doesn't
At all.
That is ridiculous. Come on, bro. Let's use some common sense here. We see blokes that get full on head knock. They're stumbling around. They pass HIAs. They come back out there. I just think it's going to be always the way. We're in a cutting edge sport. Yes, we need to put in as much safety nets as we can in regards to concussion. But the idea that because he passed the HIA, he wasn't concussed at all. Let's be real here. Come on, man. I've been concussed before. I could pass a HIA in the 10 minutes after I got concussed, easy. And that's the thing with concussion. It's not so straightforward as that. And that's why I don't understand the NRL's defence of there's no medical evidence. It's mate, the pub test is we could all see the bloke was dazed.
But the medical evidence they're referring to is that he passed his
HIA.
HIA, therefore he was never concussed.
And it's well, okay.
I don't know if I agree with that. Are they basically saying, are they not wanting there to be a precedent set here where it's it's almost a get out of jail free card, are they suggesting?
No, I don't think. I think they're using it as a deterrent. So I think they're going, mate, we've had a few hip drops. Let's go big on Sipley, make a big deal out of it. So other
4
people
weeks
are
is a
wigging out.
lot.
That's what I mean. I don't mind the suspension. I don't 1 or 2 weeks with the 10 in the bin. I think is plenty because to me, it didn't look like a bloke that was in control of his body as he was falling around the back of the leg, and that's where I just get frustrated. Where, put it this way, if the winger Fainai gets up and plays the ball, do you reckon he even goes 10 in the bin?
No.
I don't think so.
I
don't think there might not even be a penalty.
They don't look at stuff unless you stay down or you're injured.
And so I think that the reason he's got such a heavy suspension is because of how bad the injury was. Which, and don't get me wrong, I feel bad for the winger, mate. He's going to miss 12 weeks. But as soon as I get there is a balancing act. You do have to take into account a bit of the severity of injury. But I feel like this has gone way too far where we're truly just looking at how bad the injury was.
Yeah, and which should be the case.
It shouldn't be the case.
Because exactly right.
Because you could have a same situation where he just lands on his leg and no injury happens because it's a millimetre. It's a game of millimetres where injury can and can't happen, and he gets nothing for it. And so it's just I understand that it's only human nature to look at it and go, "Ooh, he got 12 weeks. He's going to be out for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
We've got to come down hard." But I just don't think it's a very scary precedent to set of punishing plays in accordance to how long a player is going to be out injured. Because then
it's real eye for an eye stuff.
Yeah, and it's also like some players are tougher than others. Some players recover quicker. You know,
some players get lucky. Some players get unlucky.
Exactly. Whereas, should we not be more focusing on the technique where it's gives you a much easier understanding of what is right and what is wrong?
Well, exactly, as the tackler.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, this is what you can do and this is what you can't do.
Yeah.
As opposed to, did I just get unlucky there because he got really injured? Was that like a worse tackle than this one? Was that one way worse than this one? You know what I mean?
Because even Ivan and Wayne have and even Benji. So we've had 3 coaches come out and say, I'm really confused. I'm really confused about the hip drop situation. So as I said, I got no issue with a bit of suspension for sure, but I just think that he's being made a scapegoat to try and send a stronger message. And I don't know if I agree with the argument that there's no medical evidence that he was concussed because he passed his HIA. It's like that suggests to me that's very. You've just read a lot of books. You actually haven't played. You're not passing the pub test there. Like, there are so many players that are clearly being concussed that go out. They pass the HIA. They're back out in the field. It happens all the time.
It's a bit of a mess, the hip drop.
Yeah.
In rugby league, I don't think they really know what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's a shit show. And if Wayne Bennett doesn't get it, who's watched more rugby league than probably anyway, and Ivan Cleary, it's not a good sign.
Mate, there was one on the weekend. He didn't even land on his leg. Like he got a penalty against him. He didn't even land on his leg, and he was anyway. So
why? Because he left the ground?
Well, it just looked bad. He got bent back and looked dramatic and all that stuff. I mean, there was one with the Broncos where Ali Latrell got hip dropped, and he did land a bit on his leg. They kicked the ball out. Ali Latrell took the next hit up. So it's like, come on, what are you doing? So yeah, I understand that the NRL's in a tough position, but I get really worried.
But suspending Toff for 4 weeks, does that get better outcomes?
I don't think it does. Like, if it was like a couple, and I use this only because I remember it vividly. I'm not trying to have a go at Paddy Carrigan, but I look at a few weeks, like a couple of years ago in 2022, like he did a hip drop that was like genuinely got around behind him, lost his legs, fell. Like, it was clearly he had time to think about it and he just wasn't thinking. He was fatigued. He looked at the easiest ways to get him down, which was to try to pull his weight back. Mm-hmm. Those ones I go, yeah, send a strong message. But ones where he's clearly concussed and he's swinging around dazed, it's like, I don't know if that's the right one to be sending the strong message at. So, yeah. What do you got there, Matty?
Oh, no.
Nothing? Okay.
Nothing, mate?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Poor old Toff.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on from it. We'll move on. I think Mitch Kenny, they got 2 weeks as well, which is interesting because, and maybe Sipley had loading maybe, but I would argue the Kenny one's probably a bit. Could you have a look at how much loading was in that? Because the Kenny one was also, there were 3 blokes on the tackle, probably had a little bit more time. I don't think he was concussed.
It's hard to compare because Sipley was referred straight to the judiciary.
I never understood that.
Oh, neither.
Because anyone watching that can see he's dazed and he has no control over his body. Anyway, here's what it is. And look, I'm not condoning, hip drops at all. Like, they need to be gone. But I just didn't feel like that specifically was one to die on that hill. I didn't think it was. 4 weeks, mate, that's a whole month of rugby league.
Yeah.
For something that there is an argument to be made, he had
in
no
a time
control.
when he's needed.
Yeah. And he had no control. If you disagree and think he wasn't concussed, then fair enough. But if you do believe he was concussed, you're essentially saying a bloke had no control over his body. He's getting 4 weeks for that. That's a tough gig. Tough gig.
He actually got 5 weeks, but they gave him a week off because he pled guilty.
5 weeks. Does he have any loading?
So he was given 5 weeks out the gate.
They suggested 5 weeks, and then because it was ungraded. So this whole loading thing, I think it's a bit tough to land on, but. Yeah, they said 5 weeks, but because you pled guilty to actually doing a hip drop, he just wanted it to be less of a...
When I hear that, I feel like, am I not remembering the hip drop correctly? Like, I've gone and watched it again, and I'm just like, am I looking at 2 different things? Like, it did not look like a bloke that got his hands around someone's waist, lost his legs, and then fell. It looked like a bloke that went in with his shoulder, got hit hard, bumped hard, tried to hold on, and because he got bumped so hard, his momentum swung him around the tackle.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm not remembering.
But that's
right.
the classic one. Hips Throw the weight backwards, lose your feet.
Lose your feet, land on the thing.
I don't think he had loading because, even though it might be relevant, because I'm looking at the last 2 years, the last time he got suspended was in the preseason challenge 2 years ago when he did that crusher on Dom Young. But now they've changed it. It gets wiped after a year, so that shouldn't even be relevant.
Mate, that is rough. 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Mate. Wow. Like, as I said...
Again, that's got to be... That's injury loading.
That's all injury related.
It's injury loading. That's what it is.
Injury loading.
It's you're a big boy and you've hurt a little winger.
Yeah. That's it. Anyway, is what it is. Alrighty, fullbacks. Latrell named for South, Turbo named for Manly, Cobbo named for the Broncos. What do you reckon? Do you reckon they should have rested Turbo another week because
Yes,
you've got a bye?
I do. Yes, I do, Denon. Yes, I do. We have a bye next week. He is injury prone as fuck. He looks that knee looked shit house a couple of weeks ago. I feel like we rush him back every year and we have to take our medicine on it because he gets injured again. That's my feeling. I don't know. There must be now I'm starting to think, is there a feeling in the Manly camp, Denon, that this is almost like we got to win this game? Because this will be 4 on the trot if we lose.
Yeah, look, so you sit... Like the comp's tight though, because you're sitting. Yes, you are 11th right now.
So why play him?
That's what I mean. You're 6 points, which is only 1 win outside the 8. You're literally 1 win out.
11th, I think.
And also, you haven't had your bye yet because you've played 7 games.
Yeah.
So you're 1 win outside the 8.
So our bye's next weekend.
I don't think you're in desperation mode yet.
So why is he playing?
I don't understand it, mate. That's why I ask, because I don't. If I'm Manly, there's no way I'm bringing him back.
I was actually shocked that he was named. Yeah. Shocked, especially because we got the bye next weekend. And I'm like, just give him an extra. You've got 2 extra weeks to just get him cherry ripe.
And also, you are missing so many players this week. Like the chances of you guys winning are quite low. But you're missing like 5 starting forwards.
Exactly.
Seka, Sipley. I had it in front of me before, but it's quite a lot. It's like you're basically Jake Travojevic.
Yeah.
It's like basically your starting forward pack.
Oh, we're a bit of a mess at the moment. There's no doubt about it. And Penrith coming off for a nice win last week. It's a shit spot to be. I don't know. I can't answer for the club. I really can't, Dan. All I know is that Manly fans aren't that happy about this.
Yeah, I'm a bit
all
surprised.
the Manly fans I've talked to, in a couple of group chats, are like, why is he
How many group
playing?
chats are you in?
In general?
Yeah.
30?
30?
20? 20, 30?
20?
Yeah, but like all different ones. So like I've got one with Tobler, then I've got one with Cody, and then I've got one with all the staff, then I've got one with Burma, and then I've got one with me.
What's your number one?
What's
your
me
main
and
one?
Well, me and Burma.
Yeah.
Sport. That's
outside of that.
outside of that.
Like that, because that's just two mates rather than a group.
I've got one called Cum. I've got another. I've got another one called the Big Titty Committee. What else has been singing recently? Do you want me to go through them with you, mate?
Yeah.
So we've got About Even, got One Direction, got NRL Super Coaches, which is obviously footy related.
Yeah,
That's where
obviously.
we talk bets and we talk fucking Super Coach, etc., etc., etc. Sweet Jam. That's where we get Scope comes in there and just gives us those
jam?
juicy
Okay.
tips.
Okay.
That's a good one. Big fan of that one. Lot of work ones. Pro-Manly rhetoric, which is obviously just reserved for pro-Manly rhetoric.
Is there any negative stuff in there that you have to pull up every now and then?
No, it's pro-Manly rhetoric.
I know, but sometimes when you're in a shit mood...
No, but you don't seem to be getting it. Pro-Manly rhetoric.
No one's ever said anything
No,
shit.
there's shit that goes in there, mate. Don't worry about that. Of course there is. The Kings. That was my old house, me Street, Burmo and Jarch, when we lived Kings at Keppel. Obviously, that's sort of, goes without saying.
Self-explanatory,
HSP/Waterboy, that's just with me and Tom and Matty over there, who's one of the greats. And on and on and on it goes. HSP Elite Athlete Program, that's about getting better every day. Just getting...
Oh, my...
No, that's with our trainer. This is a summer one. How good is Test cricket?
Okay.
There's just
okay. Big group
NRL
chat
hot tips are so hot. Like it's there's a few things going on there.
Big group chat guy, eh?
Huge.
Yeah, okay. You're a bit of a group chat slut, aren't you?
Oh, I'm a really, really big ganger for it.
Yeah, mate. Are you okay?
Well, you need your group chats for different seasons, different
but you
winters.
can't, you don't want to give your goods away to just anyone in a group chat.
No, I know all those people intimately.
Yeah, okay. You sound like a bit
Well,
of a
not
slut,
intimately,
though.
but I'm a slut.
Yeah, group
I
chat
explained
slut.
that. I'm a group chat
Because
slut. Was that too many?
I think it's a bit too many, mate. I feel like you're giving
Do you
your
think
goods
that's too
away.
many?
I think you're giving your goods away to
Do you
too
think
many
that's
people.
too many?
Yeah, you can't say yes.
But they've all got different purposes, though.
Yeah, but
That's
you
the
can't
thing.
say yes to everyone that just invites
But they've
you to
all
a
got
group.
different purposes, though, which I think I was fairly clear
How many group
about.
chats you got, Matty?
Oh, I don't think I have that many. Mine are just really like silly ones that kind of happen when we go away somewhere, and then they just turn into a group with that group of people, and like whatever you're vibing. Like if I have a reel, I'm just thinking, all right, who of my friends are gonna want this, and I'll give it to that one or that one or that one.
That's it.
So
baby.
yeah. So like for example, we have a group, like it's just dumb shit. Like honestly, like 6 years ago, we were watching the footy and Adam Clune was playing, and someone called him someone tried to say clown and said Clune. So now I've just got a group chat called Clunes, and then there's a group chat called we used to go to that nightclub Universal. So then we got a nightclub Universal, and then all of us decided we want to be in a group chat together. So now we've got Cluniversal, and then I've got like Ocean's 8, which is my betting group. We've got our bloke one, obviously, which is pretty frequent. But that's actually the bloke one is the only one I have on text. So that's the only one where notifications are always coming at me.
Yeah, okay.
So there we go.
Yeah, well, boys, eh? You little
There
sluts.
we go. No, we are little sluts.
You little sluts.
So, answer to your question, Turbo being named at fullback, I found very confusing. Latrell Mitchell named at fullback, I get, but I'm also like, I feel sorry for Jai Gray.
Yeah, so do I.
Like pour one out for Jai Gray.
Well,
if you're not upset about that, then you're a heartless fuck.
November 1, if I'm a club, I am absolutely speaking to Jai Gray. I think he's a gun, bro.
Pound for pound.
Pound for pound, mate. You know, if I'm much better than that, pound for pound, mate.
Mate, pound for pound, mate. He's fucking...
You know what? Pound for pound, he might be one of the strongest runners in the history of the game, when you think about it.
What's he doing in the post-contact meters?
Well, he's in top 10 for most of the season so far. Tell me another bloke that small that's in your top 10 post-contact meters.
Ever in the history of the game.
Yeah, like literally. He might be pound for pound one of the strongest ball runners ever.
And he's what, 5'5"?
5'5".
Is that right?
Our short king. He's our short king.
He's fucking oath he is.
He's our short king.
But I love it. So I'm actually like, I'm on one hand, I'm absolutely devastated for Jai Gray. On the other, I'm like, I get it.
He try assist come. Because that's what, if he gives anything out at fullback, it's try assist. The Latrell Mitchell.
Well, it's pure seed.
It's just seed and nut on chest. Period.
He's one of the great seed throwers of all time.
Yeah, if you need
like his nut work, his nut onto chest is just boom.
you need
ropey.
a bit of nut on your chest, you call Latrell.
Yep.
It's that
if you're
simple.
like, ooh, I feel like nut on my chest today, bang, on the blower to Latrell. What's up, baby?
Mate, he could charge quite a lot. I mean, I know he's getting quite a lot from the Rabbitohs, but I think there's a lot of people that would pay a fair amount for a nut on the chest.
Jai Gray's, sorry, go back to Gray. He's 11th at the moment for post contact. Now, I always knew Leichhardt's a gun, but he's actually 7th in post contact.
Leichhardt's strong as an ox.
He is
strong as an ox.
Yeah, with Gray,
Sorry,
though,
mate. NRL Supercoach has just
buzzed off?
Mate, yeah, it's just going off. Boys just talking about going to the Anzac Day game on Friday. I'm not going, but the boys talking about
How was your
Sorry, mate.
That's all right. How was your day on the weekend, mate?
Good. Dribbler's day out. Randwick. Thanks to our friends.
Just your friends.
Our friends, yeah.
Really good friends, though. They're really good
They're
friends.
good friends.
Yeah,
I'm
really
not going to
good
name. There's a bit of a conflict, but they're great friends.
Yep.
So they had us out there. It was a great day. Everyone's flipping in
Looked
town.
good. Looked good.
Yep.
Some movers and shakers there.
Yeah.
A few movers and shakers.
Mate, a few dribblettes there. Lots of dribblettes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Which was great.
Wow.
You know, just
All
it
right.
wasn't all guys, which was
Interesting.
nice, you know?
Yeah, you don't usually at a bloke show you might get, what do you reckon, 3 chicks out of 1,000?
Yeah.
I reckon the number's about 3 every 1,000 blokes.
And 2 of them are probably with their dribbler boyfriend.
Yeah, and the next 3 is Ella.
Yeah. Seriously.
Shout out to her.
Shout out Ella.
No, so it was a great day. Loved it. We picked a couple of winners, so that's all you can ask for.
That is all you can ask. Friends and winners is all you can
Friends
ask
and
for.
winners, and like it was a communal one where we asked everyone what they wanted to get on. We wanted to get on Lilac. He gets up.
What do you mean, like, what do you want to get on, like?
No, the horse.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't actually.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting on the horse Lilac at $4.05.
Oh.
And
Sorry.
it getting up, and the ATC saying it was the loudest roar they've ever heard out of a section.
The loudest roar.
That's what I'm talking
They had a roar meter.
Yeah.
They were decibel jar.
Who doesn't have a decibel meter? What do you mean? I fucking carry one around basically everywhere I go. I forgot mine today, but typically speaking.
So you didn't get on it here, mate?
Did I get on it? I got on Lilac, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I got on another horse, Nepotism, and I got on another horse, Birmingham, and they all won. So get that up, yeah.
Sounds like a great day, mate. Great day. The fight for Fogarty has heated up. Reportedly, Manly have offered him a 3-year deal, $700K. Reportedly taken that deal. That's if you read, if you believe, I think Bedell broke the news. 3 years. What do you reckon, mate?
3 years is too many years. That's what I reckon.
Okay.
I reckon that 2 was okay. 2's good.
Yeah.
Three's
a crowd.
3's a crowd. 3 you're sharing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3 now I'm sharing.
And you can pretend like it's going to end well, like, we're the ones that are going to just obliterate monogamy that's worked for everyone for thousands of years. Never happens.
No, you don't want to share your wife.
Yeah.
So
That's cuck territory.
That's cuck territory.
So Manly are cucks.
No, I'm just saying 3 years is like the equivalent of
Being a cuck.
what I always come back to, Denon, is that if you didn't want DCE and now you're in this fucking weird bidding war for Fogarty, what was the plan? What was the plan?
And why couldn't you offer DCE 2 years?
Because now you're offering Fogarty 3. I don't know. Like, I honestly am now at a point where I just don't have any answers. And it does seem that the club is making it up as it goes. That's what it feels like. It feels like they maybe tried to squeeze DCE and got it wrong. He's left, and now they're trying to pull something out of the ashes, which they sort of have, but are having to pay a price for it, which is Fogarty for 3 years, which is too many years.
If he plays most games, I think it's a good deal. Just the worry I have is in that 3rd year, if he starts to get a bit banged up.
3's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a crowd. We've come to that conclusion, that's for sure.
Because 2 was good.
2 was good.
I was happy with 2.
Yeah. I like 2 as well. I'm happy for Fogarty, though.
Mate, and again, I'm Team Jamal.
Yep.
I've been pretty open about that, not just on this podcast, but on all podcasts.
Okay.
I'm Team Jamal. I think he's a great style of a bloke, as Tom would say. I reckon he's the single reason, not the single reason, that's outrageous, but he's a huge reason why the Raiders are going well this year.
Yep.
And I think he can offer a lot to Manly. It's just 3 years. I'm not loving. That's all. That's all. But having said that, Jamal, if it's 3 or nothing, giddy up, son.
Yeah, true.
You're
Fair.
getting 3.
And I think that's what he said to him, 3 or nothing. I'm not tucked either.
Well, because he knows, mate. He knows he's the position he's in.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, who are you going to get then?
He didn't need to tuck at all.
Who are you going to get? Oh, okay. You don't want to pay. You don't want me for 3 years. Well, who are you going to get then?
Brooksy to 7. Is that what we're talking?
Right. And then who at 6? Turbo.
Well, obviously Turbo.
What, for fucking 11 games a year? Right.
Okay.
That makes sense, mate.
It does.
So, Jamal, shout out to you. It's pure, it's good, honest negotiation skills. You've got fuck all, so give me 3 years. How about that?
Yep. And he's got good arms too, which always helps. When in doubt, go hot arms, the Manly jersey.
Well, you can follow those arms into battle, and I think the boys will be. So,
yeah, absolutely. And look, DC, not notoriously known for his arms, so maybe that's what you've been missing, a good set of arms.
Well, DC is the captain of his state. He's won a premiership, so just careful.
When in doubt, go hot. Like, I'm trying to find some positives here.
No,
for
you're
you,
right.
Mate.
You're right.
And you haven't gone with me. You've gone the opposite direction.
Well, it's a little bit like when in doubt, follow hot arms. We've had to tweak it a bit.
Fair. Don't forget, use code KATOA for $7 off Mexican this week. And don't forget as well, KO, you can watch all the games, ad breaks, no ads during play. And if you love sport, you can't miss it. It is on KO, guys. They've got plenty of other content as well, not just rugby league. They've got interviews, they've got documentaries. That any sport you want to watch, it's going to be on KO. In regards to other news, Charles Nickel Klukstad, the Warriors have officially re-signed CNK until 27.
Chansey, well done to you, son. Where's Manu at?
Well,
I thought that was I thought Manu's going to the Warriors.
Yeah, I thought it too. But clearly, spanner in the works kind of stuff. Look, it just depends how much you get chance for. If you get him for like $500K, he's a great outside back to have. Because you don't necessarily, let's say at fullback he's not playing as well, you can always chuck him in the centres or on the wing.
He's pretty versatile, Charles.
Yeah, so like I don't mind it at all.
He's a pretty versatile style of bloke.
He's a versatile bloke, mate. And so going forward, you need experience on the edges. He's a bloody good centre too. You give him some time to train there.
Yep.
He's a good centre, so I don't mind it. And you don't always want to just all lean heavily into young players in the outside back, because that's how you get caught up with, if they're struggling defensively. Sometimes you need that experienced head just to calm everything down, get boys back on track.
Well, defence where they get found out, mate.
Oh, mate, yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, look. Yeah, I don't know if look, the Tigers situation, I don't even want to talk about the Tigers anymore. It's getting all weird, and it is what it is. We gave our opinion last week. I'm happy to see Garvin back in the side, though. I'm happy to see Garvin back in the side.
He's back.
He's back, mate. He's back. Mate, the upgrade to Leichhardt Oval, though, I want to talk about. These images from West Tigers fans have been waiting decades to see as the final designs of the new look 20,000-seat Leichhardt Oval is submitted. The Sydney Morning Herald has obtained artist impressions of a $40 million redevelopment of the suburban ground, which includes a new grandstand and a northern hill and a significant renovation of the western grandstand. The project is expected to begin at the end of 26, with plans for the Tigers to return the upgraded field to 28. There is a discussion about the Tigers potentially front-loading their Leichhardt Oval games next year to allow work to start that August, opening the window for a potential return in the final stage in 2027. And obviously got the pictures and that. Mate, I think they got to upgrade. Look, this is me selfishly speaking. I don't know about budgets and where all the money's going or whatever, but as a rugby league fan, let's do it.
Mate, I'm all for frivolous spending when it comes to rugby league.
Yeah.
I think the more cash you can splash, the absolute better. That's a good looking stadium.
Mate, looks fast.
100%. I just keep thinking back to when St. Peter V'landys was like, we need more suburban grounds. A lot of them are falling into not disuse, they've been used, but a lot of them are falling into a state of we can't use these anymore. I know that there's a word I'm looking for. I can't find
Disrepair?
it. But then, disrepair, sure.
Yeah.
They're just not up to scratch in this modern billion-dollar game environment that we're in.
We're dealing with Billies now, not Millies.
But ever since he said that, which is a couple of years ago, Manly gets their centre of excellence done up. The rest of the stadium, I think, needs doing. But like we're getting there. Leichhardt's looking like it's going ahead. The Panthers Stadium's been redone. They're talking about Campbelltown Stadium. I don't know what's happening out there, but like whatever. Would the Tigers then play most of their games at Leichhardt? Surely.
Sure, if you're going to upgrade the stadium, surely you're playing most of your home games there. But then
or are they contracted to play them at... Because they were playing games all over the fucking city.
Remember, was it last year or the year before, they were like, nah, we're doing 5 at Leichhardt, 5 at Campbelltown. They did. And now they're straight back to... I think Richo came in and was like, nah, we're not playing at these terrible grounds, which they are, until they get upgraded. So I think you're right. It's a roundabout saying if they do get upgraded... Surely it would be. If they get
upgraded, they should be playing, and Campbelltown doesn't. It should be 75 there.
I think Campbelltown. There's so many rugby league people out in the southwest that just get forgotten about.
Well, it's the fastest growing area in the country.
Yeah. That's where I'm a bit. Have the Tigers taken the right direction by leaning more heavily into Leichhardt rather than Southwest? You know, I wonder whether they should have just gone, guys.
Well, not from a population perspective, no.
Like I just think if you owned that area out southwest, like could you almost create a unique environment similar to like what Penrith did? I don't know. It's my thoughts.
I've had those thoughts for years.
Well, we and so have I. I was like, at one point we were saying they should just go out there, fuck Leichhardt off, and just go out there and become the Magpies. That's apparently seemingly not going to happen ever. So whatever.
That's what I mean. Like, are they almost committing their lot to like? You know what I'm saying? Like they're almost like never going to go out there now that if they do get this stadium upgrade.
Or are they going to do both? Surely they're not going to do both.
I mean,
they want to do both. Richo had a rant about it 2 weeks ago about Campbelltown.
If they want to do both, it's kind of like you're splitting your concentration to a degree. I understand they're a merger club. I get it. Like I totally do. But I don't know. I just wonder is there more benefit moving out further and making that territory fully your own? Because like it's such a tight area with so many competing clubs around there that like, are you ever going to really own that spot? I don't know.
It's a weird one, the merge side. I know that we're approaching, we're 25, 26, 27 years into it now. A long time.
Yeah.
But it still feels weird, I think, knowing that half of your club essentially is in that southwest area, like Campbelltown.
Yep.
And the other half's in Leichhardt. They are worlds away.
Yeah, and it feels also...
They are worlds away from each other.
So far. And also like... And look, I'm not a Tigers fan guy, so if I'm speaking out of turn, I apologise. But it feels like that's getting more and more forgotten. Like it feels like they're concentrating more and more on the Leichhardt side of things. Maybe that's wrong. That's just... I feel like if they get these upgrades and they've got the centre...
This is a massive step towards that.
And then they've got the centre of excellence there too, don't they?
Yeah. It's a Concord.
It's a Concord.
So it's just like
That's like much closer to Leichhardt.
yeah, and maybe apologies if I'm speaking out of turn, guys. I'm just looking at it from a. If I was in business at that club right now, of course I might. And I'd chosen to go where the centre of excellence is here, and also we're upgrading the stadium. It's almost only natural that more focus just gets pushed further and further and further into Leichhardt, and then Southwest gets forgotten to a degree. Could be wrong, could be totally wrong, but that's just my thoughts.
Yeah. Again, I've had these thoughts for ages. Yeah, I think it's weird as well because isn't the Magpies side like way more rich and powerful than
The leagues clubs and that?
Yeah.
Well, I believe that's where all the money comes from, and a lot of the talent comes out of there, like the Southwest.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm just like, you've got this opportunity to really own this area with all this junior talent, but instead, I'll put it this way, Tigers fans, I'd love to hear from you guys of like, what is the real benefit of focusing so much on Leichhardt? Like, what is the tangible? Because there's clearly a tangible reason why they've put their centre of excellence there, and also that they're pushing so hard for upgrades on Leichhardt. Is it the history? I don't know. What is it that makes it so tangible benefit to be there, rather than going, you know what, we're going to head out southwest, own that entire corridor, and develop there. And I'm not saying that they don't do that. Like, I'm not saying they've completely forgotten about it. It just seems like the more you talk about the Tigers, the more they're associated with the Leichhardt side of things.
100%.
And I'm not suggesting that that's a good or bad thing, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts as West Tigers fans. Do you think it's a bit of a worry that it's getting more focus, or should they? Is it a good thing? Is it a good thing?
Let us know.
Let us know. And also, don't forget, go to codesports.com.au/bloke and enter the redemption code BLOKE, and you'll get access to a special discounted annual subscription for just $49 for the year. That's right. Use code BLOKE and you get $49. And if you love sport, this is the best sporting platform when it comes to the written word on the internet. It's all sport with the best stories in the game. Use code BLOKE for just $49 for the entire year. Incredible deal. Incredible deal. Mate, just before we let you go, the big Broncos-Bulldogs clash. What do you reckon?
I actually think the Broncos can win.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I know a lot of people can say I'm crazy, mate.
You're crazy, mate?
But I've been seeing them recently, and I just think the Bulldogs have to run into a loss eventually. I think if they're going to, it's going to be away. Suncorp's a difficult place to play, and the Broncos, who have been ordinary, have still got a sick side.
Yep.
And they can get it right.
They can. If they play like they do against the Roosters, they can take it to anyone.
100%.
I mean, that was bloody 6 weeks ago.
100%. And I think Rando was pointing out today that a lot of the Dogs teams that have held to zero have been teams that don't score points.
Big clash. I can't wait for it. It's going to be an absolute red-hot clash. If the Broncos turn up. If the Broncos don't turn up, they're getting pounded.
100% they're getting pants.
Yeah.
But I like them coming off the back of 2 losses.
Yeah, okay. Michael Maguire got them, fired them up.
Almost like you've been dog shit, right? You've been awful.
Okay, let's just relax. Let's just relax with the dog shit stuff, all right?
Well, you've not been good.
Well, we're sitting 5th.
You've not been good the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have not been
Have
great.
you been good?
Yeah, we'll have Manly. Okay.
We've been shit. I've said it.
Have you said dog shit?
Yeah.
I haven't heard dog shit.
Well, you haven't been listening to my podcast, which is right. Okay. Sure.
Can I throw one?
No, that's right.
Can I throw one at you? I know you love narrative and yarn, but it was only, I think, 3 years or 4 years ago that the Dogs got held to 0 3 games in a row. Now they're going for the other way, and 2 of those teams were Broncos and South. So it just shows how much they've completely flipped it in the last few years.
Mate, if they hold this Broncos side to 0 with the stars that they've got in it,
that will be the most
phenomenal.
impressive thing I've ever seen.
Like, it'll be phenomenal. Like, I know they're missing Walsh, but they still got Cobbo at the back. Dean Mariner comes in. Like, talk about depth, like insane depth in the outside backs. You got half pairing of Hunt, Renault. They can't get points. Like, that's a concern if they can't score. But it shows you how good the Bulldogs have gotten. We're actually talking about them potentially holding the Broncos to 0. Absolutely insane.
Spicy stuff. Love it.
Roosters, Dragons. What are you doing here?
Honestly, I'm thinking like flip a coin. I'm going to go with the Dragons.
Okay. Warriors, Knights.
Warriors.
Knights 3-10 though. A bit of value there.
The Knights can't score points.
Mate, it's crazy.
They've been awful. My Knights to get the spoon bet looking okay.
Did you bet Knights to get the spoon?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
On about even or just in general?
About even, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy, where did that come from?
I just thought that they were vulnerable.
Because of the forwards they lost?
Yeah, and the fact, and I just thought, like, if they lose Ponga, like, they're fucked. And their halves just,
We don't even like. Yeah, we've got Fletcher Sharp, but they change a 7 each week.
Well,
I know
that's
it's been
what-
injuries. I get it, but still,
But they do, mate. How many halves pairings have the Knights had in the last 2 years?
6 or 7.
Yeah,
Crazy.
you know. So
Storm, Rabbitohs,
we got to go with the Storm, right? Rabbitohs have never won down there.
Cowboys, Titans,
Cowboys at home, I think.
Panthers, Manly.
Manly get the win.
Or
Manly win and win well.
oh my god, Raiders, Dolphins.
251. Fucking hell, you're confident.
That's low. That's too low.
Don't
Should
you
be
re-
fucking $10.
I'm just surprised I'm paying $5.
Tigers, Sharkies.
Tigers, Sharkies. I'm going to go the Tigers. Bounce
Tigers,
back.
eh?
Yeah, I
Bounce
stand
back.
with the Tigers.
Okay, the
I
Tigers,
stand with the Tigers. Don't you? Do you stand with the Tigers?
Look, I'm happy that he's back in the side. I'm happy like Galvin's back in the side.
100%. So I stand with the Tigers.
Okay. All right, so it's 4:29. See, mate, look, I take care of you.
You look
mate.
after
I
me,
take
mate. You're
care
a
of
very
you.
nice guy. I said
take
to
care of
Dan,
you.
I've got to be out of here 4:30, and he's looked after me.
And I've landed
so I
right
appreciate
on
that,
4:29, mate.
Geez, you're a good guide.
I'm just, mate, it is what I do. It is what I
Geez,
do.
you're a good guide, mate.
All righty. Make sure to grab a bloke jersey, guys. We'd really appreciate it. And as usual, we'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.